Welcome to the webinar tonight with creative options to grow your eBay business. My name is Mike Wood. I'm going to be your presenter here tonight, and we are going to use a bit of a slideshow presentation today to get things going. I have put this together over this past week to kind of help me be focused and show you some specifics that I really want you to learn and focus on. So we'll go through this here today as we get things going. So we're going to go ahead and just pull this right up. If you do have questions, go ahead and just put it into the question comment box there. I will put that out where I can see it. So if you have questions, I'll notice that there. And then we'll answer them. And then we can have a question and answer. There may be points where I'll do it throughout the webinar. Or possibly after the webinar if needed. Okay. So, as I stated, what we're talking about here is creative options to grow your eBay business. And what I want to show you is how you can start with a quarter. Just with a quarter to get started with your business, and kind of show you how that can be actually a pretty good start to the business. This is a series of webinars that I'm going to start doing. We're going to talk about several different avenues, different ways to make money. It could be starting with as little as a quarter. It can be free items. And today we're going to kind of introduce this idea with some of the many things that I've experienced over the years as I've worked eBay and as I've taught others. So I'll share multiple examples. So what's a quarter worth? I want everybody to think about that. Is it worth a quarter? Is it worth 25 cents? Is it worth $1? $10? 20? And we've got our first question here. Let me check that. And that's a question there, Wade. You need to check with your coach on that, or call into the support team. That's not something we can cover on the webinars here. We're going to focus on topic here. So what's a quarter worth? 25 cents, $1, $10, $20, 50? Well, what I'm going to tell you is a quarter can very well be worth $20 or $50 or even more for you. Okay. That's what I hope to show you, and I hope that you can see the vision of this and be willing to get out and put it to the test, because those who do, who really try to make this happen and put forth the effort, really see the results. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard talks about faith or belief or the secret and the proper attitude. That's really important. I don't care what you want to call it. But if you go about this and you look at my ideas that I'm sharing with you tonight, and you say, bah humbug, that's not going to work, and you half-heartedly try it, or maybe even you think you're putting effort into it, but you don't believe it's going to work, then you're not doing it right. You're not putting forth the right effort, and it won't work. So I really, truly believe in the old mantra, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Okay? You make your future. If you believe you can do it, you can. If you don't believe that you can do it, you can't. You're absolutely right, whichever way you look at it. Okay. So, have you ever wanted to be that success story that others look up to? I think you probably have. That's why you're here. You want to build this business to a success, and otherwise you wouldn't be here. And so, what I'd like to do first is I want to show you a few examples of how you can make this happen, and some examples of people who have made this happen for themselves. Okay, so we're going to show some of those. And so why not? Why not start with a quarter or $1 or $2? You know, maybe it's going to take a few dollars, and build your business to $1,000 or more per month. Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, wouldn't that be great to have a story where you go out and your first product that you sell on eBay it costs you a quarter? Or maybe it's a stick you pick up off of the ground. Believe it or not, I've sold some of those this past year. Maybe there's something like that where it doesn't cost you anything or cost you very little, and you take that, sell it, take that money back into the business, sell something else, and you build it up. I've done it over and over and over again, so I know this is very, very realistic. Okay. Now, be warned. Okay, got a warning for you here. hopefully none of you are afraid of this. This strategy takes work, and this is more than just computer work here. We do need the computer work, of course, but a lot of what I'm going to be talking about here, most of what I talk about in my creative webinars, takes a little extra work. It's a little bit different. It may require you to ship something. You might have to touch the product. You might have to handle it. You may have to find a box. You might have to weigh it. Okay? And warning, you may become addicted to this approach. Okay? It's been very addicting to me. Again, if you can take a piece of garbage, and I literally have an example of this, if you can take a piece of garbage that somebody's throwing away and turn around and make a profit out of it, and if you can do that over and over and over again, well, that can become a little addicting. Okay? So, yeah, you might be a little surprised. So let's jump into this and look at some examples of great growth. Here's number one. Maybe some of you have heard about the red paperclip. So one red paperclip was, there's a book on it. Kyle McDonald is the name of the guy. That's him right there in the picture. Kyle wanted to trade a red paperclip for a house. And he didn't do it for the purpose of being wealthy or getting wealthy. He did it to prove a point. He did it to take this positive attitude approach and to trade up and make it happen. So he started with a red paperclip, traded up. He traded that red paperclip to somebody who was willing to give him something that was worth a little more value. And then he took that next item and he traded that for something of a little higher value. And he kept searching for people who were willing to trade, and he kept trading up until finally he traded for his last item, which was that house there in the background. Now, I've read a lot of articles about this. A lot of people have opinions on what happened here. I don't care how you look at it. This guy was brilliant. What he did was amazing. Yeah, it was a low housing area. You know, this house didn't cost $500,000. So what? He started with a red paperclip, for crying out loud, and he ended up with a house. That's a feat. Now, it took him about a year, a little over a year perhaps, to make this happen. And I've heard people write up about, oh, well, if he had worked in the field that he was, you know, that he had gone to school for, he could have made enough money to pay for that house. Well, possibly. But during this time that he was doing this, he was, you know, still working and doing things as well. And even if you make $150,000 in a year, you don't get to keep all that money. The government takes a good chunk of it, right? And then we've got bills to pay, and you know, it's not like you get to keep all of that. So I don't care how you look at this. This was quite a success story, starting with one red paperclip, ending with a house. Okay, just about a year later. Here's another example. I don't know if any of you know this guy. When I was searching for these examples, I didn't recognize him, but his name is John Paul DeJoria. Well, he lived in his car before John Paul Mitchell Systems took off. Okay, so he was the one who started the Paul Mitchell products. Another example here, Ingvar Kamprad, born in a small village in Sweden. Nothing special. Little boy in a small village in Sweden, and created a mail order business. What happened with that mail order business? Well, it became IKEA. Now, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard of IKEA. We've got a great big IKEA store just up in South Salt Lake County here from us. Just a boy from a small village in Sweden decided to create a mail order business, built it up. Same kind of thing we're doing here today with starting a little online business, okay? So what did it take for these individuals to make this happen? I've already mentioned belief. You have got to believe in what you're doing. If you don't have faith in it, if you don't believe that this is going to work, you're already dead in the water. You've got to have that underlying belief, not just a desire, but a belief that you can make this happen. If you have that belief, you're already head and shoulders above the rest. So belief is the foundation. Without it, like I say, you know, it's the least I can say is it's going to be hard to grow it. Hard work. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It is going to take some tough days, some difficult decisions. It's going to take some hard work that you're going to have to consistently do, and at times it's going to seem that you're not getting anything for that hard work. Running a business is not like a job. This is not a case where you're going to go and spend a week working or 2 weeks and then you get paid that big paycheck. Okay, this is going to be daily, weekly, consistent work over and over and over, and then overcoming the odds. That's basically what it takes. Now, overcoming the odds, I don't think that's as hard as most people like to think it is. It really isn't. This belief is what you need. As long as you've got the belief, you can overcome the odds, okay? But recognize that life does not get easier when you start this. Often it's the opposite. It's going to get even harder. You're adding another thing to your life. You're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to decide what you can do without so that you can work on this to get it going. Okay, recently I've been working on developing a new product, and I've spent a lot of money and a lot of time and sacrificed other things so that I could get this up and running and off the ground. And it's not going to happen without a lot of consistent work over and over. Okay. Now here's another one that's really important. It doesn't happen overnight, and I don't just mean overnight. Of course, you don't expect it to wake up the next day with no work and you're going to get these results. But that basically means not only did it not happen overnight, but it didn't happen in a week, didn't happen in a month. IKEA didn't become what it is in 1 year. It takes time to develop a big business. How big you want to be will vary the amount of time needed, but no matter what, it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen right away. Okay, so how do we grow it? Start with what you have. That's one of the first things that I would suggest. Start with something that you have. Believe it or not, you've got something in your house or around your house or within your city that you can sell and make money right now. Once you do it with a little item, you return the profits right back to the business. We let the business grow. So if you buy something with a quarter and it makes $30, leave it in the business. Don't take out that $30 and treat it like income. It isn't income yet. It's got to go back to the business. We reinvest that $30 and then we grow the business as we are able. Maybe it'll take us a few weeks. Maybe it'll take us a few months. Maybe it takes us a year before we have a consistent income coming in from our business. But you grow as you're able. You start with what you have. Okay. And then always be looking for the next deal. This is one of the most important things. And this is a lesson that I keep learning. I have to keep relearning this. I was thinking about it again just tonight. And I'm going to tell you a lot of stories in this as we get going today because I need you to understand that that's the important part. That's how things work. The people that I have been willing to get to know, the individuals that I have met have helped me in my life because I'm always looking for the next deal. I've got a good friend who I met through one of my websites. I do a little bit of wild edibles teaching and tours here in Utah locally, and he came to one of these once, and he's real interested in survival type stuff. Well, he came to one, and he was interested and wanted to go to another. And pretty soon he asked me and said, "Hey, why don't we go out and look and prep? I like to do this." And it wasn't long I asked, "How come you're always free?" And he explained to me that he runs his own business. And he has, because most people I talked to weren't, and he has a stove, a ultralight backpacking stove that he created. So we got to talking, and that inspired me to develop my own product, which I've started this past year. And then just recently, he introduced me to a better resource, a better source for me to go to for a machinist to build my product. So I'm saving, probably half in my costs compared to what I had without him. That's something I had because I'm always looking for the next opportunity. I'm always looking for a deal. I'm always open to meeting new people and seeing where it takes me. Don't be afraid to get out there, to put yourself out there, to look for those opportunities. Okay? All right. Start buying. What can you do with it? So again, we start with what we have. We return the profits to the business. If a quarter makes you $30, leave it in the business. Right? We grow as we're able. We look for those next deals. Once we've got a little bit of some cash flow there from our business, now we can start easily dealing with the dropship strategy. We've got the foundation. We've got a little bit of money there. Maybe it's $30, maybe it's $50, maybe we've built up to $100, and now We don't have to worry about where the money's going to come from to cover a product for a drop ship strategy or any other strategy we have, because we've got the cash in our business to buy that product and have it sent out. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be going through here today and in the next few weeks. These are great strategies to help those who don't have anything. If you've got nothing to get you started, I'm telling you, you've got more than you believe. You've got more than you think you do. Starting at a yard sale. How often can you go to a yard sale and spend a quarter, 50 cents, or $1 and end up with something that's worth much more than that? I know that just about every time you should have that opportunity. Now, I realize there are times where you're going to go and people at the yard sale aren't all that eager to let things go for a low price. But most of the time, yard sale is not anywhere near retail. You can buy something there for a very low price that has a much better value, and these guys just want to get rid of it. Okay, I can't tell you the number of times I've seen treasures picked up this way, or heard the stories about people who have found them from my own students, from my own examples, and from other coaches, and of course all the others out there that we hear. A thrift store, same kind of option and strategy there. And that's another one that we can look at. And then we've got, and let me see what. Okay, and we're going to talk about some of these in detail. So start with an item from around the house, perhaps. Again, something little that can give us a few dollars, then all of a sudden we've got a few dollars that we can turn into more dollars, and those dollars into tens and hundreds and so on. Okay, find a free item from friends, family, or classifieds. And here's an example that I want to show you. Start with some sticks. Okay, I told you literally you can sell sticks. I've done it multiple times. Okay, you can sell things from nature, and that's one of the strategies that I'm going to talk about in the coming weeks. So I do want to go in and show you this particular example here. So we're going to pull this up. I've got a link actually to the to an eBay listing that I recently saw here. So let's see if we can get that to open for us. And there we are. So here we did a search on eBay for white birch bark logs. Okay, so birch bark logs. Well, here we have 2 3-inch to 16-inch logs that somebody sold for $46. Okay, white birch fireplace logs. Bark, nice looking bark. That's all it is. Here's a white birch log rounds. If this is an item that you have somewhere nearby that you can access, well, you can look for it. Think about other items you might have, because you can search for that on eBay and find them as well. Here's somebody that got crafty with it and built a tissue box. Here's somebody that built some other birdhouses and things. Here's somebody who created a little centerpiece, rustic wedding shower decor. $16 for 10 of these little things. What are they? Little branches or sticks stuck into a piece of wood. All right? They got crafty and they're making money with it. Rustic wedding decor. DIY Maine white gray birch bark fairy garden log cabin. Hey, I don't care what you use it for. You can use it for a log cabin, a fairy garden, a wedding decor. Here's some logs. $16. Okay. Here's another one of these decor, $15.99. Here's one they turned into a candle holder. Here's another lot of them here for $15. Come down here, we see some more that's sold. Okay, literally, people are selling logs and sticks here, and these aren't huge. You can see these have got little tea lights in them. I mean, these are small little sticks. This is nothing spectacular, but it's something they have access to in their area that other people would like to have, and so people are willing to pay for it. Okay, you might be surprised by what you have in your own area. All right, let's go back to the to my webinar here. And then what we do is we start with something small like that. Maybe it'll cost a quarter, maybe it won't cost us anything, and we build up so that we can do either drop shipping or other goals. Maybe you have a goal of stocking product or importing product or doing a surplus or liquidation, but you need that initial um, bit of cash to get it going. Whatever those goals are, you can start from nothing or very little and build up to that. Okay, great opportunities. Now, I think this is our last slide. It is. So what I'd like to do is I want to talk about some of these options here. And if you have any questions, go ahead and start typing those in. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and we can go through those. It's great to bring any questions in. So if you have any thoughts of products that might work or ideas or something you want me to search or any other questions from this webinar, please type them in. All right. So some examples. Yard sale. I do a lot of surplus with my business, and when I get to the point where I have boxes of miscellaneous stuff that I just don't care about and I don't want to worry about selling, I'll do a yard sale and I'll put it out there, and I don't care what I get for it. You know, I know it's worth $10, $20, $30, but I'll give it to you for $1 because I want it gone, and I've got plenty of other stuff that I can work with and build my business around. So I did this last year. I did a few of them, just trying to get rid of junk, uh, and I noticed the people that were coming through there that some of them were looking at their phones. Some of them had other devices where they were checking prices on books and stuff. You know, and what does a book sell for at a yard sale? At my yard sale, 10 cents, quarter, and they were looking at those books, seeing which ones had value. And if they could find a book that was worth $5, $10 on eBay, they were buying it. They gave me a quarter, and I gave them the book. There were other things like that. I see it all the time, and it's fun being in the business and then doing a yard sale and being on the other side of it where I can see people who are coming in looking for the deal and finding those deals, and I know what they're doing and I know what they're looking for, and I have no problem with it. I'm glad that they're going to make money with it, you know, but for me it helps because I'm getting rid of it, and that's how I look at it. Well, a lot of people are going to look at it that way with yard sales, and so that's a great opportunity for you to find some deals. Okay, so look around, do a little research on some of these items that you see. If you have a smartphone, take that with you and do some researching. If you don't have a smartphone, call somebody who's at home who does, or who is sitting in front of the computer, can do a little bit of researching on eBay for you. Okay, thrift stores. Little example I'm going to give you here, and we may go into this in more detail. There are so many opportunities like this, but one of my students years ago read an article about nightgowns, vintage nightgowns, and how they sell as a popular item on eBay. And yes, they still sell today. Now, this was a couple of years ago. And she realized, oh, I have one of those down in some old clothes down in the basement. I'll list it. She put it up, and sure enough, it sold. So the next thing she thought, I'm going to go look at the thrift store. I think I saw some over there. Now, some thrift stores are cheaper than others. For her, she was in an area where she went into the thrift store, and they had 25 cents as a price tag on one of these items. So literally from a quarter, she was able to buy one of these nightgowns. She found another one for 50 cents. One of them sold for $30. One of them sold for 40. That was a great success story to me. Okay, you go in, you spend 75 cents, you turn it into $70. And that's 1,000 times markup. That's fantastic. It's wonderful. You can do it more often than you think. So be willing to look at all that junk that's out there and take a chance on some of it. Now, I don't want you just to take a chance. Do a little research. Make sure that you know there's some value in something before you go and spend a little bit on it. But then don't spend much to begin with anyway. Item around the house. You wouldn't be. I mean, how many times do we have things? You know, an old book, an old movie that we're not watching anymore, pair of shoes, a shirt, pants, clothing that we don't wear anymore. Sell it on eBay. I've done that over and over. Free items from your friends, family, or classifieds. Craigslist has a free section where people are just giving stuff away. They just want you to come take it. They don't want to deal with it. It has value, but they don't want to mess with it. It's not worth their time to go and try and sell it, so they just want it gone. I have a prime example on that one. A neighbor was doing some spring cleaning. Her kids had grown out of a bunch of clothes. She had two great big garbage bags full of clothes that she wanted to get rid of. She was going to send them to Goodwill, and I just happened to tell the neighbors at the time, hey, we're selling things on eBay. If you guys have anything, that you don't want, let me know. If you have anything you want me to sell for you, let me know. And she said, I've got these 2 big bags of clothes. I would love for you to just take them. I don't want anything for them. Just get them out of here. It was a benefit to her because she didn't have to take them down, make a trip, load them in the car, go downtown and take them to Goodwill. I just came over to her house and took them for her. Well, I opened up the bags of clothes, started going through them. Everything in there was brand name, and I made $200 or $300 off of those clothes, selling them, just fast and at great prices. So that was a wonderful opportunity of something that I did that didn't take much time and didn't cost me anything to get it. There are all kinds of things like that. As I showed you here, you can literally start with some sticks out in the yard and sell them as wedding decor or fairy garden decor or miniature logs or what have you. People will buy it, because there are people who don't live near any kind of nature, who don't have that type of stick or whatever, who are willing to pay for those. Okay, so I don't have any questions here, so we're going to go ahead and close up the webinar. I appreciate everybody taking part in this. Please go out there, find something creative, and let's become that next success story and have a great story to tell of how you started with a quarter or 50 cents or a stick and built your business up to great success. Thank you for joining.